60 years before the Battle of Yavin, the Death Watch and true Mandalorians split from the new Mandalorians who were in control of the planet Mandalore and wanted peace. The true Mandalorians were led by Jaster Muriel, who asserted that Mandalorians who wished to fight would simply be highly paid soldiers and should conduct themselves as honorable mercenaries. However, not all Mandalorian warriors followed Muriel. The barbaric Mandalorian soldier Tor Vizsla, who dreamed of a goal opposite of the new Mandalorians, which was a return to the ancient ways of Mandalorian raidings and conquests of the galaxy, aiming to wage a second war of conquest across the galaxy since the Mandalorian Wars. Skilled but undisciplined, these soldiers who rallied behind Vizsla formed the splinter group that became the Death Watch. And Mandalorians being Mandalorians, war broke out between the two opposing factions. By 58 BBY, Jaster Muriel and the true Mandalorians took refuge at the Fett homestead on the planet Concord Dawn. Tor Vizsla killed the Fetts and kidnapped Jango's sister Arla, and Jango led the true Mandalorians out into the fields through a thick farmland away from their enemies. Death Watch thought that the true Mandalorians were defeated and prepared a celebratory town raid, but the true Mandalorians ambushed the Death Watch in the town and won the day. Jaster adopted Jango into the true Mandalorians, and fast forward a few years, the Death Watch are in a pretty bad state after their loss on Concord Dawn, as the true Mandalorians are doing pretty well for themselves as respected bounty hunters and honorable mercenaries. In 52 BBY, the true Mandalorians were still at war with the Death Watch, and Jango Fett was fighting as a respected warrior. The true Mandalorians were lured into a trap on the planet Corda 6 by the Death Watch. The Cordan government hired the true Mandalorians to extract a rookie security force from an ambush by rebels. But in reality, the Cordan government and security forces were allied with the Death Watch, who the true Mandalorians had thought were previously defeated on Concord Dawn, and then the true Mandalorians were ambushed. After Death Watch had revealed themselves, Jaster Muriel and his right-hand man Montross had been pinned down and a grenade wounded Jaster. Montross abandoned Jaster and flew away on his jetpack as Jaster was brutally gunned down by Vizsla in a Death Watch tank. Montross believed that with the death of Jaster Muriel and presumed death of Jango Fett, that now he was the one in charge. However, Jango was not going to let that happen because he was simply just built different. When in reality, Jango had witnessed Montross leaving Jaster and went to retrieve his body under heavy fire. Montross tried to claim his role as leader and that both Jaster and Jango had died. However, Jango returned to the true Mandalorians with Jaster's body and proved that Montross had been a liar. The rest of the true Mandalorians chose to follow Jango, and Montross was then exiled from the group. They then escaped Corda 6 with Death Watch being unable to pursue them. Fast forward a few more years, Jango's been leading the boys pretty well for himself, and they're still honorable mercenaries and highly paid bounty hunters. Now in 44 BBY, Jango led the Mandalorians in a job against rebels that they were hired to defeat by the government of Galadran. But again, in reality, the job was a trap by Death Watch, who had bribed the governor of Galadran to have the true Mandalorians kill a group of peaceful protesters. Jedi Master Dooku and a group of Jedi then came to Galadran after the governor claimed that the Mandalorians were attacking his planet, and a battle then ensued between the Jedi Order and the true Mandalorians. During the battle, the Mandalorians defeated many Jedi, and Jango even killed several with his bare hands to prove how much of a skill issue that they had compared to him. But in the end, Dooku's Jedi killed all of the Mandalorians except for Jango, which resulted in Dooku later regretting his actions. This led to Dooku respecting Jango and using Jango as the clone template after he was imprisoned by the governor. This battle also marked the unofficial end to the Mandalorian Civil War, as the true Mandalorians were mostly no more, and the Death Watch was victorious. However, this was not the end for Jango Fett. The governor was then left in charge on Galadran and was now supported by the Jedi, which pretty much meant that he could rule as he saw fit after the Mandalorians were defeated. So, you know how that went down. The governor then sold Jango Fett into slavery in 42 BBY. Then Jango Fett escaped from his imprisonment during a pirate attack on the ship that he was held captive aboard, where he fought against his former captors. After reclaiming his armor, he killed Tor Vizsla after dueling him and defeating most of Death Watch. The Mandalorian Civil War was now finally officially over, with the Death Watch in hiding and the true Mandalorians mostly extinct. So, that's the story of the Mandalorian Civil War between the true Mandalorians and the Death Watch. I personally think this would make a pretty awesome Disney Plus series if done right, but that's just me. What do you think? Write in the comments, and thank you for watching.